So it may be awkward to say these things, but these are the things which I feel so uncomfortable living with in India as an African. Food. Believe me or not, when I'm in Congo or in most African countries, I don't choose what to eat because most of the things are kind of compatible with me, which is a completely different case when it comes to India. When I'm in India, I have to be very picky and very choosy with food. And the strange thing is that in India, people are really creative when it comes to food. They will make any sort of thing out of anything. Every region has its own food. So you have to try a lot of things. But the problem is that not all those things will be compatible. So you have to try. Sometimes it goes good. Sometimes it doesn't go well, so you have to bear the consequences. But food is one of the biggest problems which I do face in India. Privacy. I think this is something which most Indians do not have. They don't consider so much privacy as comparatively to us Africans. You will find someone asking you questions about what is the job of your parent, of your father. In most African countries, I don't think anyone can ask me such question. In India, privacy is kind of not as good as in most African countries, and you have to get used to it also. Time management. I know this problem exists also in Africa, and maybe it's even worse in Africa. But in India, if someone tells you, wait for me in 5 minutes, okay, just wait for 30 minutes because they're not going to be there in 5 minutes. Which is not something cool, but it's like you have to get used to it. And maybe in Africa, it's worse than that. The fear of communication. Most of the times it happens that I communicate or I try to say something and the other person won't understand me the better way I was expecting them to understand me. And this makes that we don't speak, okay, I don't speak to most people most of the things which I want to communicate, because there is that it might not be the barrier language, but even understanding each other is not at the exact same point as someone from an African country or an African fellow person could really understand me. Being too calm. In India, I'm kind of obliged to be too calm, too low, having low energy, which is not the same thing which I have in Africa. And of course, one of the things which I noticed is that when I meet my fellow Africans, we do make a lot of noise, laughing very hard and doing a lot of things which, like, it's we need so much energy, yet it's kind of not an Indian thing. And like when in an Indian neighborhood, you have to make the music low, you have to speak low, because if you try to make it the way you want it to be, for them it will be like too much noise. So you have to try to adapt to that also, which I'm kind of not so comfortable with it, but I kind of get used to with it. Dressing code. Okay, this might be more, I think, to ladies, but even to me it does affect me. Is that the dressing code in India is kind of more serious, more polite, but for me, I'm kind of used to t-shirts every time and the shorts, which might not be the same thing as for Indians. So you have to try to adjust to that also. And I think for girls, the African girls, it's again way harder to adjust to the Indian way of dressing, but you kind of have to get used to it. And even if it's uncomfortable, go along with it. And when I'm saying these things, it doesn't mean that I don't like India for them, but according to what we know, it say that when you're in Rome, be. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Catch you next time.